Finding an affordable place to live here in New York City is next to impossible, and that's because everything here is pretty much overpriced. But that's what's got me so excited about today's apartment, because if you rent this place, the per person cost of living here is gonna be around $700 a month. That's insanely cheap. Now I know what you're thinking, it's either in a terrible neighborhood or the apartment itself really sucks. Well, we're gonna head out the door so that you can decide for yourself, but if you have fun watching this, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. That's great. We just got off the train from Manhattan and the apartment is right there. Usually when you live in an outer borough, getting into Manhattan's a major issue, but it doesn't look like that's gonna be a problem here at all. Living here is gonna mean that you've got an unbeatable commute into the city, and you know what else is unbeatable? We're still on the same street as the apartment, but we're also on the corner of Northern Boulevard, which means that right there is the Home Depot and the Stop and Shop, just 2 blocks from your front door. All right, let's be real. Living near stuff like this isn't super exciting, but if you live in New York City and you don't have a car, this is a total lifesaver to be able to walk to the grocery store and get what you need and not have to walk block after block after block with tons of heavy bags of groceries. That would be amazing. But you know what? This is not a super exciting neighborhood. In fact, it's quite the opposite. We're in a quiet residential part of Queens where there's really not a lot going on. I mean, just look around. On both sides of the street here, you've just got residential buildings. You don't have one commercial business on this block, and it's incredibly quiet here and incredibly peaceful. Now, depending on who you are, you're either gonna love that or hate that. But what that does mean is that anybody who lives on this street is gonna get a good night's sleep and isn't gonna be bombarded with crazy street traffic because it's a quiet block. I guess the only downside about that is if you wanna go out on the town, you're gonna have to leave this neighborhood and go somewhere else. But that's actually not that hard to do, because Astoria, Queens is a pretty popular part of town, and that's about a 15-minute walk from where we're at right now. And since we're right by the train that takes you into Manhattan, you can easily get to Manhattan and go out if that's what you wanna do. Here we are at the building, and believe it or not, this was actually kind of tricky to find because all the buildings on this street kind of look exactly the same, and that goes for both sides of the street. But here we are. Let's head upstairs and take a look. This is a really interesting apartment. It takes up half the floor of the entire building. It starts at this end, and then it goes all the way down the hall to this end. Out of these windows, you can see that same quiet street we were just on. And then if you head back down the apartment this way, you're back over here in the kitchen, and these windows actually face the back of the building. But because there's nothing tall outside, you've got a great view in 2 different directions here, and all of the rooms get some sunlight. This is a ton of space to have in a 2-bedroom, and the layout of this apartment means that you could actually fit a 3rd bedroom in here if you really wanted to, and if you did that, your rent would be like $700 a month. That's crazy. So let me show you around. Here's the front door, and right when you walk in, you're in the living room of the apartment. Now this living room's pretty cool. There's a small window right here which brings in some sunlight, and this whole area is a nice square shape which would be pretty easy to work with. This is pretty good, 12 feet 6 inches by 12 feet 1 inch. And getting a couch and an entertainment center and a coffee table in here is not gonna be an issue. I'm gonna guess that most people are gonna put their couch against this wall right here because it's next to that window, and because it's right across from this spot right here by the front door that looks like it would be a good fit for the entertainment center. Now again, this living room, it's right next to the kitchen, but it's not part of the kitchen, and the benefit of that is these 2 big windows that are in the kitchen are also letting a lot of light in here. So this area is never gonna feel dark because it's pretty well lit, and you should be able to make this a comfortable place to hang out no matter how you wanna set it up. Now right next to this living room is the kitchen, and none of the finishes in this kitchen are super glamorous or super high-end, but everything here looks like it's in pretty good shape. There's a full-size stove with a vent, definitely a full-size refrigerator, refrigerator. And the counter space here is really good. It would be easy to use this kitchen and get stuff done because you've got the stove right here, you've got the sink in the middle, and plenty of room here to work. And there's also plenty of cabinets above the sink and below the sink. So whatever you need in this kitchen is gonna be right here. And again, with these two large windows, it's gonna be easy to open them up and circulate some air so that whatever you're making does not affect the other parts of the apartment. Kitchen and living room are definitely winners for this price point. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk all the way down the hall there and check out the rooms. And it's gonna be a long walk because this place is pretty big. All right, here we are all the way at the other end of the apartment in the room that faces the street. And since this is a quiet street, this room isn't gonna be full of street noise and it's not gonna be uncomfortable. It's also really sunny because we've got two large windows here and this room's got a pretty good feel to it. Space is also not an issue here at all. This is 12 feet, 7 inches. By 12 feet, 2 inches. And I think that if your bed is too big for this room, you need to get a smaller bed because this will fit just about anything. This room also has its own door. So if this was your bedroom and you wanted, you could use this as a private entrance. And although there's no closet in here, it looks like this standing closet is here for you to use. You might think it sucks not having a built-in closet in this room, but the good thing is that you could put this just about wherever you want. And that gives you a lot of options for how you could set this room up. Definitely a bed like a queen or a king-size bed is gonna fit here. And you'll even have room for a desk, for extra dressers and things if you want. Lots of options with this room. Now, between this large room that faces the street and the kitchen, which is all the way down there, there are two smaller rooms which are semi-private. They've each got doors, they've each got windows. These could be used as bedrooms, and if you don't have roommates, you could use these for pretty much whatever you want. This room's not a bad size either. It's 11 feet, 7 inches by 8 feet, 7 inches. And this room's also got a really large closet with sliding doors. Yeah, this is a ton of space. This goes up pretty high and there's a nice shelf here for you to put stuff on and also a bar for you to hang stuff up with. Really good storage space in here. The view here isn't anything incredible, but there is a good amount of sunlight coming in through this window, even though it faces the interior of the building. And that's good because a lot of times with rooms like this that face the inside of the building, they're typically dark and they don't feel very good, but this isn't too bad at all. Here we are in the third room. It's not a bad size. It's 13 feet, 10 inches by 6 feet, 11 inches. If you were gonna use this as a bedroom, you definitely wanna choose your bed wisely because the room itself isn't very wide, but it is pretty long and it does have a window as well, so you'd get some sunlight in here. And if you were really on a budget and you were sharing this apartment with 2 other people, you'd be saving a lot of money and you'd still be living in a great place, which is near transportation and everything you need to get by and live on a weekly basis, like grocery stores. Let's check out the bathroom, which is right here off the side of the kitchen. Definitely not the world's largest bathroom, but there are some things that I really like about this. First of all, it's really sunny because there's a window right here. And even though it's not super new, it looks like this tile that's on the walls here has been recently redone, and it feels like a pretty clean bathroom to me. There's also a mirror right here, which is also a medicine cabinet. There's a full-size bath with a tub, a sliding glass door for the shower, and the sink's not a bad size either. And it's got that all-important storage space right below it. I guess you could make the case that it's a little bit cramped in here, but really, it's not that bad. I can move around in here and I wouldn't feel like this is really a downside, because if this room was larger, it would just mean that there's more to sweep and more to clean. And I think at the end of the day, for this price point, this bathroom, it gets the job done. This is my first time in this apartment, and you know, I'm actually a really big fan. There's a ton of space. There's a ton of sunlight, and you'd save a ton of money by living here, and it's not like you're sacrificing a commute into the city or living in an area that's just totally inconvenient and not near any of the stuff that you'd need on a weekly basis like grocery stores and whatnot. If you want to rent this apartment, let me know. My contact information's right here, and if you have a New York City apartment and you want to have it featured right here on my YouTube channel, use that same contact information, reach out to me, and we'll get a tour done of your place. Click right here to subscribe, that way you don't miss what's next. And if you haven't seen all the tours on my channel, don't worry. They're in this playlist right here. Check those out, and I'll see you in the next video.